About 5 o'clock at night, one of our smaller trees just fell over in the yard. That small tree was probably in the order of 30 metres tall. That's how big a small tree is on our property. It scared us. We started thinking about things like what's going to happen next, what's going to happen with the dogs. And in that moment, as we pulled the dogs in, we heard the worst sounds we've ever heard in our lives, which is cracking and splintering. And in that moment, Julie and I grabbed each other and we were pinballing off the walls up a corridor because neither of us knew which way to run.
You don't know which way it's coming from.
There's probably 20 trees around us. All of them will hit the home. We ran up and down the corridor in all different directions, holding each other, and then we heard this gigantic boom and a smash. We went tentatively to the back door and saw that the entire garage and workshop area was entirely flattened. That's when we made a very hectic decision to get off the mountain.
Perhaps we were less complacent because we were so new to this environment, not sure what to expect. But I checked the weather app and I could see that the winds were going up that night, and I just thought it wasn't worth the risk. So we left, and probably the best decision we ever made.
We fled down the roads that the next day were crisscrossed with giant trees. We drove out in the dark, we drove with the dogs. We had no idea that behind us the trees could have been falling behind the car. It was one of those nights like out of a movie.
The next day around 4 o'clock we get back here and we couldn't believe what we were looking at.
Everything that you see here was covered in an inch of mulch all over the roofs, absolutely everything.
When we came back, all this destruction.
We can't move these things. These things are beyond our skills and beyond our tools and our abilities to move. We're on about a 20 to 30 degree slope, and the root balls present the biggest problem of all. They are impossibly big. They'd probably be the weight of a car. So what we're doing is we're just chipping away at them. We'd asked people locally what kind of storms they'd had in the past. Were they worried? People just shrug their shoulders and say, branches come down, the odd tree comes down. That was part of the shell shock for them.
A lot of the people that live immediately around us have been here for a long time, more than 20 years, some of them 30 years, and never ever seen anything remotely like this before. From the time that we got here, before the storm, people were extremely welcoming, so we had already gotten to know quite a few people. But after the storms, the way people pulled together to help each other was beautiful.
We got onto BRV very quickly. That's been very helpful in the journey. Assessment of the property and the experts that came out here who spent an entire day assessing habitat, the trees, the damage. That was spectacular to see.
Yeah, really impressed by how thorough they were, so that was encouraging.